Hello everybody, so here is Black Angel again, and I'm here with a video about how to spot TI versus TE. So sorry, but I'm keeping candy in my mouth because I didn't get coronavirus, but I did get the seasonal thing, and it's quite bad anyway. So yeah, it's been 10 days now. Anyway, back to extrovert thinking versus introvert thinking. This is not going to be extremely long. It's just a few words to help you spot introverted thinkers versus extroverted thinkers in society. This video is going to help probably help INTJs in particular, because for INTJs it is particularly important to be in touch with people they can get along with. INTJ is probably the least social of all types, and with that I don't mean sociable, because an INTJ can be sociable to an extent. It's just they're not well equipped to be in society and to be among others, so their experiences have a tendency to be negative. So how to spot extrovert thinkers versus introvert thinkers. Facts versus opinions. Extrovert thinking is a factual accuracy. So whenever you are looking at an extroverted thinker, they are going to have their facts correct. Now, this is going to be a little bit complicated and a little bit longer than you expected, but still short, because we have 4 types of extroverted thinking types, which are extroverted thinking dominants and auxiliaries, which are the main extroverted thinkers, but we need to include in the lot also introvert feeling users. They belong in the category of extroverted thinkers. So they're going to be those guys that for the most part have their facts accurate. So now, degrees. An extroverted thinking dominant type is going to be that kind of person that barely can laugh at a joke if it's not factually accurate. Not according to him, but truly factually accurate. So if the joke doesn't actually mirror what is going on in that situation, the extrovert thinker is the kind of person that will feel the urge to correct the mistake. They are the most attached to factual accuracy. Whereas an extrovert thinking auxiliary is going to be the kind of person that always supports factual accuracy over personal opinion or personal well, I will show you when we will talk about introvert thinking dominance. Anyway, yeah, roughly speaking, they are going to generally accept. They are always going to support factual accuracy, but they're going to be more accepting. So an extrovert, an INTJ or an ISTJ can laugh at a joke, even if it's not factually accurate, if it mirrors something that is actually going on out there. Like a lot of jokes about coronavirus right now are not factually accurate, but they do mirror what is actually going on in society and how people think. So how the majority is taking this coronavirus thing. So that for an ISTJ or an INTJ is going to be enough factual accuracy. Whereas for an ESTJ or an ENTJ, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to enjoy that kind of jokes. So they're going to be a little bit more picky about what they joke about when it comes to coronavirus in this specific circumstance. So that's one example. Another example that I can give you is just think about it, but I will give it to you broadly. Imagine that particular thing that you're fond of, like, for example, I don't know, maybe an anime or a TV show, TV series, movie, whatever the case may be, comics, that thing, or novels, romance, or whatever it is that you are particularly fond of. Imagine you are in an environment where you are discussing this kind of thing. Let's take, for example, the Knights of the Zodiac. I'm currently analyzing the Knights of the Zodiac, so that's probably the closest thing to my current passion that there can be. So imagine being in a page or in a group where they're discussing Knights of the Zodiac, or you can exchange Knights of the Zodiac with whatever the hell it is that you have in mind. And in this environment, there's going to be a bunch of people that will be extremely strict about what happens in the anime and what happens in the comics and manga instead. So these kind of people are going to be kind of accepting of those that only watch the anime and are factually accurate about the anime, but they're not going to be accepting of those that both watch the anime and read the comics, but that are not factually accurate about the two. So these are the extrovert thinkers. And that actually applies to all the category of extrovert thinkers. Those that might sometimes have their facts not on point could be the ESFPs and the ENFPs, but you will recognize them because they're going to put a lot of effort and go out of their way to correct their facts and actually make them accurate. So if they realize that their facts are not accurate, they are the first kind of person that is going to go out of their way to correct their facts and to reorganize their thinking. Whereas the most aggressive about factual accuracy are actually going to be ISFPs. The INFP is the type that is going to whine about it and feel excluded because their facts are actually different. The ISFP instead is the kind of guy that picks up the bazooka and starts shooting everyone because no, that's not how it works. That's because if you destroy factual accuracy for an ISFP or an INFP, you're basically telling them that there is no happiness in the world. That's how they take it. So yeah, moving on to TI types. TI types, on the other hand, are the conspiracy theory kind of types. So they are not ever factually accurate. Typical often a TI dome is to see those things that support their theory and disregard anything that does not. So an example of TI dominant in the Knights of the Zodiac, sorry, but I find this funny, is that those people that are absolutely persuaded that Iki Phoenix would be the strongest and absolutely best of all saints, which obviously he isn't, because he's just like everybody else. He only has an armor that has some perks that others don't have, but he's not the only one. Fact. Andromeda, Shun Andromeda, is another kind of character whose chains can be broken and restored without going to Aries Moon. So yeah, every character is strong in their own way, but those who say Iki Phoenix is the absolute strongest and he's done everything, and Seiya is just a peep that was licking walls. That's something that people say in Knights of the Zodiacs. zodiac pages, and yeah, I've seen all around the world because I'm following Spanish and other languages also. Anyway, yeah, that's a widespread way of looking at things. They completely disregard everything that makes Icky not perfect, and they are going to pick only those episodes and those circumstances in which Icky was actually winning and a Superman. And yeah, that's also part of extra sensing, actually. So yeah, alpha quadrotypes, like I'm talking about ENTPs, INTPs, ESFJs, and ISFJs are going to be a little less extreme in that sense, but they still do that the same way. Whereas ESTPs and ISTPs are going to be those types that have absolutely no desire to see anything other than what they believe to be correct. And this is also why I said in one of my last videos that I wanted to actually speak some positives about extrovert thinking, because extrovert thinking does have some perks. And not being factually accurate, in my opinion, is not a perk. So, yeah. This also a note, ISFJs and INFJs are the least factually accurate of all types, and they do not understand the importance of factual accuracy. So that's why they are the nightmare of extrovert thinking dominance. So yeah, when you're going around forums or around also outside out there, the TI types are those that are not going to be accepting of anything other but their opinion of things, their view of things. So they're the kind of person that my opinion bests the facts. Whereas the extroverted thinking types are going to be those types that facts are above anyone's opinion. So you either get your facts straight or you don't talk at all. So that's the basic difference between extroverted thinking dominance and extroverted thinking and introvert thinking dominance. Facts correct, either you have your facts correct or you shut the fuck up. And the other guy instead says, either you agree with my theory or you shut the fuck up. So that's what makes it so difficult to actually spot types in society, because introvert thinking, is not that different from introvert feeling. In that introverted feeling is a kind of attitude that says, what I like best, so what everybody else likes. So what I think best, what everybody else thinks, what I like best, what everybody else likes. That's very similar, more similar than you actually think. So yeah, think about that icky thing. I see a lot of TI doms and TI and FI dominants clash with each other while actually supporting the same character. And that happens because for an ISFP or an INFP, there is no actual reason why they like the character. They simply feel attracted to the character. So they're going to have little facts to support their thesis, and they're not going to actually have a thesis whatsoever. And whenever you ask them, why do you like that character, they're going to tell you stuff like, oh, because he's awesome, or because don't you see how cute he is, or stuff like that. That's what an introverted feeling type will answer. Whereas the introvert thinking dominant is going to list all the reasons why that character needs to be considered perfect by anybody in the world, regardless of facts opposing their opinion, against their opinion, countering their opinion. So yeah. Also, I read a lot in socionics websites. And here I'm talking about where experts write and not where people write. I don't give a damn about what people have to say. honestly, when it comes to theories, specifically and not specifically actually. But anyway, talking about experts, I read a lot of experts, so let's put it this way, say that extrovert thinking types have little patience about listening to others. That is true. But it is also true about introvert thinkers, in my experience. As far as I've seen, the introvert thinker lets you speak, but when it is at the end of the day, the extrovert thinker is going to want you to agree with them. Either you agree with them or you are an enemy. That's how the introvert thinker thinks. Whereas the extrovert thinking dominant will want you to agree with the facts, and then you can build whatever the fuck of an opinion you want about it. So these are the facts. So that's what the extrovert thinker dominant or auxiliary is going to tell you. These are the facts. Do you see the facts? Yes, I do. Okay, whatever opinion you have about it, I don't give a fuck. That's how an extrovert thinking dominant is. So they both look like they're trying to impose on you your opinion, especially if we are in the extrovert sense in quadros. They're both going to look like they want to impose something on you. One is wanting to impose on you their opinion. The other instead wants you to see the facts as they are. Careful with INTJs, because they are the tricky guys in this realm. If they are talking and expressing a concept by themselves because they feel like they want to share something, that's going to be the best way to approach an INTJ, the best moment to approach an INTJ. Do not challenge their facts because they're going to be 100% accurate. But if you want to make friends with an INTJ, I would suggest you to do that when they are sharing, because that's the moment in which they are open to others. Whereas all the rest of the time, which is 90% probably, or 80% of the time in which they are talking, especially when they're joking, I would not go closer to them. I would not approach them. And that's simply said because an INTJ's game is that of making others look stupid in their own eyes. So that's what an INTJ finds joy in, basically. When an INTJ is happy when they see others look stupid to themselves, not to the INTJ, not to other people, to the person themselves. And that's because an INTJ kind of feels superior. I'm talking about non-developed INTJs. I'm not talking about people that took their time and actually worked on themselves and stuff like that. I'm talking about basic INTJs, those that didn't have the time or the desire to work on themselves. Anyway, that's how an INTJ works. They find extreme joy in seeing when a person recognizing that they didn't have their fact accurate, that they look like idiots, and that they basically made a fool out of themselves in their own eyes. That's what INTJs actually enjoy. So careful with them. They are extremely tricky. A little word about developed instead INTJs. They still do have this thing. They just use it as a punishment method against someone that hurts someone they love. So you don't love anyone, you don't hurt anyone the INTJ cares about. You are safe, basically. And approaching an INTJ is actually going to be complicated because they do not filter what comes out of their mouth. They have zero filter. The only filter that they have is what they consider appropriate, and everything that is factually accurate to an INTJ is going to be appropriate. So yeah, that's basically the problem. I think I will make another video about INTJs because talking about their tertiary function is actually extremely interesting. And I'm going to close this one here. And yeah, for me, 20 minutes is a short video. Anyway, yeah, this is everything I have about this topic. I hope it will help you, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.